furnished rental market is a niche market. Furnishing a unit isn't rocket science, but if you want to stand out against the competition and earn top dollar for your rental property, this video is for you. Hi, Michael Ouzas from Michael Ouzas Real Estate, and I'm a realtor in the Greater Toronto Area. I've been furnishing units for almost a decade and been renting them out on every platform imaginable. The reason for this video is because I just posted one of my furnished units and seem to keep getting the question, what are some tips to furnish my rental unit? The one I just posted was actually because I was doing a home makeover and had some extra furniture that I was either going to store or repurpose. During my hockey career, I would live in these rentals for the off season and rent them out while playing abroad. Along the way, I learned a lot of do's and don'ts when it comes to furnishing these rentals, and I thought I'd share some of those in this video. Let's go through some general tips to furnish the unit and touch on points on both short and long term without going into a ton of details of both. If you ever want to connect and discuss how to properly furnish your own property and take a deeper dive into the short-term versus long-term conversation, book in a call with me with the link down below. So my first rule of furnishing a property is to decide why you're furnishing it and whether or not you want to do short-term or long-term stays. In general, furnished properties command more rent than unfurnished, and shorter stays generally earn more money on a daily basis than longer stays. It's also important to decide how you'll handle the listing, whether through a realtor, property manager, if you're going to manage everything on your own, post it to various sites. There's no right or wrong way to really go about this. Just make sure if you're going the professional route that the costs justify the service, and if you're going to manage it yourself, that you have the time to do so. When it comes to furnishing a property, if this is just going to be a storage locker for your extra stuff or junk and you don't want to throw it out, this avenue might not be the best option. If your intent is to maximize the rental value of your property and you're willing to put some work and some money up front for long-term returns, then this option definitely makes sense. Alongside not being a storage locker for junk, your property is also not an IKEA showroom. That's not to say IKEA doesn't have great furniture, and mixing in IKEA pieces here and there that look good is a great option, but that lack coffee table and side table that you had in university just isn't going to cut it if you're looking for top dollar. You also don't need to go super high end, but a mix of furniture from sites like Wayfair, StructTube, HomeSense, even Walmart, Target, and Amazon all have nice options that you can thoughtfully put together. Check for inspiration on decor from websites like Houzz or all over the internet, Instagram these days. You can also Google IKEA hacks, yes, you're welcome, and see some great ideas on what to do with generic IKEA furniture and make it look pretty darn good. When it comes to furnishing, think of being suitcase ready, meaning someone can come in, unpack their suitcase, and they're ready to go. For long term, think of everything you would need in a kitchen: dinnerware, cutlery, coffee machine, pots, pans, hangers in the closet, doormats on entries, photos on the wall. Make the place feel like a home. Don't forget about lighting, lamps, side tables. Complete every room in its entirety. If you're going short term, you'll also need to add things like towels, bed sheets, blankets, dish soap, laundry soap, coffee pods, things like cleaning supplies, garbage bags, even chargers and plugins. Things that will need to get washed and replenished in between each renter. Pro tip: don't go to Costco and put 100 pack of everything out and leave it. It might all get used up or taken in a weekend. Plan accordingly to the length of stay and leave a generous but not crazy amount of stuff for the renters. For short term, you'll also want to get unlimited high-speed internet and some kind of service like Netflix or Hulu. It's always a nice touch. After you furnish the unit and everything looks great, pay for professional photos from a real estate photographer. I can't stress this enough. You know when you're looking at photos online and the photos are taken from an old iPhone, so you skip the listing altogether? Renters will react in the exact same way if your photos are not very good. Professional photos might cost you $100 or $200, but you pay for it once and you have them forever. You could even pay a little bit extra for a nice virtual tour or video. Remember, you're trying to maximize the value of your rental. If the place looks amazing in person, make sure it looks amazing online. Last couple things I'll add in is cleaning, insurance, and permission. Get the unit professionally cleaned and have a good relationship with the cleaners because you might need them pretty often. You need to also tend to any issues between renters. This could be any little minor maintenance or repairs. Typically, this market is for people who are traveling or relocating. The last thing they want is a dirty place or a broken shower or toilet. For insurance, get landlord insurance that will cover your contents and any damage. If you're renting short term, make sure that the insurance company does cover short-term rentals, and don't forget about things like damage deposits on your listings. I mentioned permission as in many cities, especially Toronto, sites like Airbnb have more and more rules when it comes to short-term rentals. If you own in a condo building, they might even have their own rules as well. One that we see pretty often here is minimum 6 months for tenants. If you're out in cottage country, this might not even be a factor at all. Just make sure that wherever your property is located, you've done the necessary checks before going through the process to get it up and running. I'd love to hear more tips and tricks to furnish a property in the comments down below. As always, if you're interested in more real estate content, hit that like and subscribe button and follow me on all socials at Michael Ouzas Real Estate.